and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's time for me to sit down and chat with someone else on Crystal One-on-One. As always, we're at the Carnival Gardens in NAGURU. Beautiful, green, lush, serene. And today I have a sports journalist as well as a radio presenter, should I say. Joining me, he works with Azam TV, KFM, and he is the president of the Uganda Sports Press Association. Patrick Kanyomozi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Good to see you. Good to be here.
It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I know you don't do many interviews.
Yeah, especially visual interview, TV stuff. No, I rarely do interviews.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a camera person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy though, considering you've been like a sports journalist and you've been on TV. Why would you say that?
I'm not so much into interviews because I really don't find anything interesting about my life.
Can you imagine he said that?
Yeah, but it's good to be here. Good to catch up with you.
Well, welcome. So yeah, looking to find out what you're passionate about. And I think many people who also know you online, especially on Twitter, they're fascinated with how vocal you are about different things. I know I am. So yeah, just let's take us back. Did you always want to be a sports journalist?
Yeah, I wanted to be a radio presenter from as early as my primary 7. That's when I made up my mind that I wanted to be a radio presenter, though I didn't expect to be a sports presenter.
Oh my, so then, it was about being a radio presenter
being
first.
A radio presenter first.
Okay.
And I worked towards it because I was so addicted to radio. I would listen to radio a lot. Those early days from my siblings when they used to listen to Capital FM then, because I think it was together with Sanyu were the only radio stations, and I was like, one day I have to work on a radio station.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I pursued my dream, and I ended up working on radio and living my dream.
Well, good for you. So your family, were they aware of this decision in P.7?
No, for my elder brother, the one I follow, I think knew that I was so passionate about this. But then my big brother didn't know, because he's way older than me, so he's kind of a father figure for us. So for him, he wanted me to be an accountant from the start.
Did you even consider it at any point?
Yeah, I actually did. I even pursued BCom at university, but I still felt my passion pulled me to where I am. And I decided to do what I am. Because there were two things I wanted to, either be a DJ or a radio presenter.
A DJ?
Yeah.
Have you tried a little bit?
Not yet, but I know I'll do it.
I like that you said not yet. We have noted those words, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But DJ, I don't mean, because some people confuse the radio presenters with DJs.
Yes.
I mean like a real club DJ. Because my passion has always been sports and music. It's always rotated around those two things, music and sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said like your brother before you knew, but your older brother was like a father figure to you.
Yeah.
So you said, you've always been passionate about music and sports.
Yeah. My life has always rotated around those two things, though sports has always been my first love. But I watch a lot of sports. I listen to lots of music. For example, some people who move in my car sometimes get surprised by the kind of music that I listen to.
What kind of music are you into?
All sorts of music. You can find me listening to very old South African music, sometimes Lingala, sometimes Zouk, or the latest music. So it's all been about music and sports. So those have always been the two things. And like I said, I think one day I'll still live my other dream of being a DJ.
Okay, we shall be waiting quietly to see what happens. I love that you said, like, in terms of music, you appreciate like pretty much everything, because pretty much every genre of music out there has something special, because it just comes back to human beings and the talent that so many people have. So as I was saying, it seems like you said your oldest brother was like a father figure to you.
Yes, like kind of raised us. Took up early responsibility for most of us, raising us not only school fees but also giving us the proper upbringing.
Your parents weren't.
They were there, but he decided to to relieve them of those duties because he was way older than us, so he was able to get into employment earlier. So he decided to relieve them of that. And
deputy parent, basically.
Yeah. So he was, of course, a bit disappointed along the way that I didn't end up where he wanted me to be. But when I was older, I had to sit him down and explain to him everything. That, you see, this is what you wanted me to do, but this is what I wanted to do, and I'm doing what I've always wanted. And the good thing is that he understood and he appreciates what I've turned out to be. And,
now he can look and say, okay, this person
knew
and
I
what
think
they
he
wanted.
says, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have let him from the word go to pursue what he wanted.
I think that's one of the trickiest things, because now you're a father, being able to try and pull back and say, even though I want A, B, C, D for my children, you know, we have to also let them find their way. It's that tricky balance.
Yeah, and it's one thing I've vowed, that I will let my children do what they want. Of course, I'll always guide them, but I can't stop them from pursuing what they want. For if she says she wants to be a musician, I can't say, no, you can't do that. You have to be a lawyer. Though there is guidance, but at a certain point, you have to listen to them and let them take their own decisions and live the life they want to live.
True. So where did you go to school?
I went to school. Most of my schools were in Masaka, maybe a little bit of background. I was born in Masaka, and my only family, I was the only one that was born there. The rest of my family were born in Entebbe. That's where my father used to work.
Okay.
Then at a certain point, he moved to Masaka. I went to St. Charles Ruanga Kasasa Secondary School, and then later university.
Okay, all right. Do you ever go back to Masaka? Do you still have like some old roots there?
Yeah, it's like my home, my second home. I go there once in a while because I still have friends there. My dad is still there.
So in a way, that's home now.
Yeah, home. Although not my real home, but it's home.
So where is the other original home?
Well, they are different homes. My father comes from Montungamo. My late mother came from Uganda.
Okay.
So we had different homes.
Uganda.
Yeah.
My father comes from Uganda. So that is home for me.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, so you said, so you were in Masaka. Was that all of primary and secondary until university?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went and did B-commerce?
Yeah.
Okay.
And later, I did a diploma in journalism because I had to formalize what I'm doing. Because throughout, I started radio in my senior 6 vacation. So throughout university, I was doing radio. And then later, I realized that I needed a proper qualification in what I was doing. And I later pursued that.
Oh my, so you jumped in S6?
Yeah.
In the vacation?
Yeah, in my
Where was
vacation. I was at a local radio station because one time I got up and told my brother, but you know, I want to be a radio presenter. But I think the entry point must be news, because I think I can read news very well. Okay. So I got up one day, asked him to listen to me. I got a newspaper and read in front of him, and he was like, oh, that sounds good. So I walked to a local radio station and told them I want to work here. I want to read news. I think they were like, what's this little boy up to? But I insisted, and the gentleman told me, okay, there it is. He pointed to the production studio. Go in there, gave me a script, and told me, you read. So I did. What I later found out is called a voice test. At that time, I didn't even know what it was called. And well, surprisingly, the following day, I got the job and started out as a newsreader. I actually turned out to be good. And then later on, I ventured into sports presenting.
So that was still at that first station where you started.
But later, because the person who was a news editor then moved to another radio station, which was a station in its initial stages. It was an Adventist radio station. Okay. So when she joined, she told them, but I know someone who reads news very well.
So she plucked you from there.
She plucked me from there and took me there. And the good thing, the coincidence was that it was around the time I was joining university. So it was perfect for me to join university and also continue with my radio career.
Okay, so imagine coming home to a vacation each day, to a place of pure serenity, a place of pure luxury for you to entertain and unwind. At Jacana Heights, dreams come true. Take your pick from spacious 1, 2, or 3-bedroom apartments and luxurious 4-bedroom penthouses, built to international standards with fine, exceptional finishing. Located on Konge Hill, Buziga, with incredible views and a fresh breeze from the nearby Lake Victoria. It's a place for your body, soul, and mind with a wide array of amenities. Contact us for more information. Jacana Heights, luxury hilltop living. You're one of the people who worked throughout university.
Yeah.
You started working very young.
Yeah.
And there are many people who start working only after university.
Yeah.
But okay, but that's a way to also like make sure you take care of yourself, take care of your bills.
Yeah.
How many were you as siblings?
4.
You're 4.
Yeah.
So you are not the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
You are the youngest?
Yes,
oh
I'm
my.
the last born.
You're the last born. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have, is it 3 brothers or you have a sister?
I have 2 brothers and a sister.
Oh,
so
okay.
that makes the 4.
Oh, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're like in S6, and I love that you took the initiative, you know, because a lot of people who ask me, and I'm sure who also ask you, how do I get into radio? How can I get into media? I always say you have to take the initiative and look for an opportunity wherever you find it. And you're a classic example of that.
Definitely.
So like your parents, when they first heard about it, your dad, for example, was he like okay with it, or it's because you were still doing your studies? It's like, that's fine.
Yeah, they were okay with it because I mean, I was in senior 6 vacation and I had found something to do, so they were happy about it. The concern came when the university days were approaching, and I insisted I wanted to continue doing it together with my studies. So that's where the concern was, and that's where my big brother came in. And now you have to stop this and focus on studies. You can't do both. And because I didn't want to argue with him. I told him, yeah, okay, fine, I'm going to.
But you
stop
did
this.
your own thing.
Yeah, but I did my own thing, and later I found out that I hadn't stopped actually, and it was really bitter. But like
did
I
you
said,
find it hard to juggle?
yeah, it was hard.
Because you were a day student, right?
Yeah, but I later asked to be switched to evening, but it was still hard because I mean, you have to move from Chireka, say at 4 p.m. and have to go to Makere, the other side of town, with all the hassle of the city, and sometimes maybe work extends up to into the times for the lectures. So
lectures.
it was a bit hard. And then, for example, if during exams, maybe you want to take a week off and concentrate on the exams, it was really hard. But again, I found out that it prepared me for so much, because in life there are not so many easy things. You always have to work your way into something and work the hard. Yeah.
And we will always find these challenges, and that balancing act kind of never ends, really. Okay, fine. So you started out as a news presenter, and then you moved. So when did you get into sports? So when did you get into sports?
Because I'd been passionate about sports. Right?
I remember an article where you said you are a sports fanatic.
Yes.
I was like, those are strong words.
Yeah, I was. I mean, right from a very young age, I think around P2, P3, P4.
Did you play?
Yeah, I used to, because I remember I started going to the stadium when I was in P4. And that's when I started supporting my local club at that time, because I was introduced to it by my sister. It took me to the stadium one day, and I fell in love with it. So I'd been a sports fanatic. So one time an opportunity came. I think the sports presenter, something happened to him and he was not available. So I offered to sit in. And when I did, they realized that I actually did it better than the presenter that time. So then I added sports presenting to news anchoring. And then later on, I found news boring. So I gave it up and concentrated on just being a sports presenter.
Okay. So what station was that?
It was Prime FM. I don't know if it's still there. It's an Adventist radio station. It was just starting. It was based in Chireka. And then it's from there that I got the the job at KFM. It was almost similar story because KFM, I just walked in, did a voice test, and then they called me after 2 days and told me to come and start working. So I've been a bit lucky in my pursuit of my radio dream.
So you just walked into KFM and you're like, I want to do this?
Yeah, because I had a friend there who told me one day, but I think there could be an opening. He wasn't so sure. So one day I went there, talked to the radio head there, was called Richard Linger, and I told him I can read news, I can also present sports, I can also be a reporter. So he also offered me the chance for a voice test. I did the voice test, and after 2 days, he called me and told me to start working.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. So how long have you been with KFM then?
Oh, it's so long. I think I joined...
You've even forgotten.
No, I think it was December 2008, somewhere there.
Oh, wow, that's like 13 years.
Yeah.
It's a long, long time. So it's a bit more like a family for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so KFM, you're pretty much living your dream at that point, because this whole time from P7, you're like, I want to be a radio presenter.
Yeah.
So when did TV come into the mix?
TV came in on the sports side. I think my first TV job was, I think, in my first year at campus, where the late Andrew Patrick Luandaga, I think he had listened to me on radio. So one day I was at a function, a sports function, and he met me and was, oh, you're the Patrick Kanyomozi. So he told me, would you be interested in working on TV? I told him, I've never thought about it. But he was telling me, yeah, you should come. We always have a sports show every Monday. You should come and be an analyst. So I went to the show. Of course, the first day was a nightmare, but I mean, I pulled it off. And
why was it a nightmare?
Because I didn't know where to face. I didn't know. I mean, because TV is a different ball game compared to radio.
Yeah, radio you have your one mic and you're like,
and
me and you.
Me and you. But I pulled it off, and I got a job there. So I started juggling. Now that's where it became really hard, working on KFM, then doing UBC, and then school at the same time. But the beauty about UBC is that it wasn't every weekday. So it was Monday and maybe on nights where there was Champions League football, because I used to be an analyst on Champions League football nights, which usually was Tuesday and Wednesday nights. But it was still hard. But I mean,
again, the juggling. We do Cheo here in Uganda as well.
And then later on I joined NTV for the show then called The Sports Bar. They also just called me. Actually, all my jobs, I don't remember applying for any. Most of them, they just
called me. TV ones.
They just called me, even because I just walked in. Now for UBC, they just called me. NTV, they just called me because it was easy for NTV, being part of the Nation Media Group and KFM. So they wanted to restart that TV show. And well, they called me and asked me if I was interested in doing it. So I did it for some years, I think 3 years, until I left.
Okay. So how did you leave? Do you remember?
I think they were
restructuring the show.
They were doing something like they are programming. They were changing the programming at that time, and then they first took off some shows for some time, and it was one of them. It used to be, I think, a Monday night show, and I think according to research, it wasn't in the right times on there, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it.
So between TV and radio, would you say that radio is your first love?
Yes.
Definitely. There's no hesitation.
Yeah, radio is my first love because everything that I've done along the way, I've never quit my radio job.
You've been consistent on the radio.
I've done so many things outside broadcast, but I have retained that job purely because, I mean, like I said, I'm living my dream. It's my passion, and yeah. Until I retire, probably in a few years, but at least I would have.
A few years? We still have a long way to go.
No. I don't want to be there forever. I actually started planning my retirement. I think I've been there long enough. Yeah, I'm working on my retirement. I should be a few years. God willing, 2 years or
so
less
you said
than that.
You've done so many other things outside media.
Yeah.
So what are those things?
Well, I've done events. I've done promotion. I've done sports promotion. I've run a sports promotion company, which I did as a very young boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, many will remember the kickboxing fights that I used to promote at a very tender age when when it was a new phenomena in Uganda.
Okay.
I organized the first kickboxing fight to be televised ever. It had never happened, and many would not believe. I would walk into boardrooms, and many would not believe that this man has such dreams.